Application for Merchant Mariner Credential Form CG 719B Section 2 Requested Coast Guard Credential. When you come to this part of the form, it's likely that you know what you are going to apply for. If this is the first license that you're going for, it's going to be an original officer if you are applying for an OUPV or a master's. We're going to focus this video on OUPV and master original. So you would check this box, original officer. And down here, description of endorsement desired. So you know you're either going for an OUPV or a master's license. But there's a little bit of variation between these. So we have to figure out what we qualify for. Are you going to go for a master's near coastal, or a master's inland, or a master's Great Lakes and inland? Or are you going to settle with an OUPV? And is that OUPV, can you get a near coastal route endorsement on it, or does it stay with inland? Where do we find this? What we'll do is we can jump to uscaptainstraining.com. And from here, we can link. You can either go to this captain's license dropdown and go to the OUPV or master's, and that has the specific checklist you're looking for, or you can jump down to the footer on every page and click the second one down, checklist. It'll come to the page with all of the Coast Guard checklists. And because we're concentrating on OUPV and masters here, we're deck officers, so you get national officer endorsement. Choose a checklist. Click there. Now, as we cruise down, we see the unlimiteds, the 500, 1600, the 200s, and now here's the first one, 100 near coastal. This is the license. If you took a master's course, the license you really want to try to qualify for is near coastal. And to see the requirements for near coastal, you click on this, and the checklist will come up. And we'll see in this checklist that we need, right off the bat, 720 days total service, 360 near coastal in scope or in the Great Lakes. Man, we can't qualify for that. We only have 360. So what do? We go back to the checklist and we go National Master 100 Great Lakes and Inland. Let's see these requirements. Okay, we'll zoom in on this a little bit. And now we see, okay, 360 days total. Okay, so now we can qualify for this. 360 days total. And if we have time on the Great Lakes, we can qualify for a Great Lakes endorsement. With that said, now we're looking for tonnage, right? Here's the tonnage calculations. And these tonnage calculations are going to differ. So for a Great Lakes and inland, they're 180 days and 90-day increments. If you're looking for near coastal, it's going to be 360 and 180. So you really need to refer to this checklist and sort out which license you want. And let's jump to one more checklist because we're looking at OUPV as well. So we'll go down and we'll find that national OUPV less than 100. This is a very common license. So here it is. We'll zoom in a little bit and we can get the sea service requirements. So here they are. For near coastal and Great Lakes and inland, all of these are 360 days total. And if you want a near coastal OUPV or a near coastal route endorsement on your OUPV, you need 90 days of service on oceans, near coastal, or Great Lakes. And that'll get you that near coastal route endorsement. And really this Great Lakes endorsement, 90 days operating in the Great Lakes, or inland, just 360 days in the operation of vessels. That'll get you an inland. And then, so that's for the OUPV. And all of these licenses, masters, OUPV, inland near coastal, all of them, you need 90 days in the last 3 years. That's called recency. So we looked at these checklists. Now, if we jump back to the form, it's still asking us description of endorsement desired. So let's hypothetically go after a near coastal master captain's license up to 100 ton. That's like the big one. That's a good one. So I jump back to that checklist. See up at the top, National Master of Self-Propelled and or Auxiliary Sail Vessel of less than 100 gross tons. We can copy this right from here. Copy, or if you do a 2-finger click, copy. Good. We'll go back to the form. We can paste that in there, and we have a really good start. So from here, we have a good start. National Master of Self-Propelled, then it says and or auxiliary sail vessels. If we don't have a sailing endorsement certificate of training, like we took a sailing endorsement course and received a certificate of training and we want to apply for that, if that is the case, leave that in. If that's not the case and you don't want a sailing endorsement, we can delete that. So here we are, National Master of Self-Propelled Vessel of less than 100 tons upon near coastal waters. So we looked at how we determine if we're on near coastal waters. And if you do qualify, we'll leave that in there. And if you don't qualify for a near coastal master, you'll change this upon inland waters or upon Great Lakes and inland waters. And then this number here is just a little CFR. Get that. It was 46 CFR 11 point, whatever it was. So near coastal waters. And now look at this. Less than 100 GRT. This GRT is gross registered tons. How do we know what tonnage we qualify for? It's either going to be 25, 50, or 100. We go to that checklist, and I'm going to refer to the Near Coastal Master checklist. So tonnage. These tonnage requirements are going to be the same. So tonnage calculations. See here? Actually, these are different. So here's the amount of days. So let's just do 100 ton. And you can do your homework here and look down this and see what you require. So to get to 100 ton, we need either 180 days of service on a vessel, 51 gross registered tons or above, or 360 days of service on a vessel, 34 gross tons or above. So if you meet these requirements, you'll qualify for 100 ton. If you don't meet these, we'll jump down to 50 ton. Either 180 days of service on a vessel, 26 gross tons or above, or 360 days of service on a vessel, 17 gross tons or above. Let's say you weren't on any vessels 17 gross tons or above, jump one down to 25 gross ton. So here's the requirements for 25 gross ton. If you have 360 days or more on vessels between 1 gross ton and 16 gross registered tons, then you can qualify for a 25. So a lot of people land in the 25 category. And once you have your license, you can actually increase your tonnage easier. So this is the tonnage calculation. It's going to be a little different for near coastal, and I'll jump to the inland and Great Lakes. See, the tonnage requirements are a little bit different. The tonnages are the same, but the amount of days spent on that tonnage vessel is a little different. And then for your OUPV, there's the tonnage requirement is just up to 100. So this is where we need to go. We can go to uscaptainstraining.com, and then we'll get to these checklists. Find the checklist that suits your needs, do a little bit of homework, and you can get the top of that checklist right here. You can just grab the top of it and copy it, right? And then paste it back into this form, modify it a little bit, and then the Coast Guard's going to say, perfect, look at that. It's right from the checklist. This guy knows what he's doing. So it's going to take a little bit of homework, a little bit of work, but that's how you fill out the application for Merchant Mariner Credential Form CG 719B, Section 2, Requested Coast Guard Credential.